Hi, I'm Sean Reardon, Mayor of Newburyport, and welcome to the latest edition of the Mayor's Corner. So I'm coming to you today from the NCM Hub, up here at the Senior Community Center, just for a little change of pace, get an eye on the office. It's the first day of school here in Newburyport. It's a little tough getting around town, so I apologize for that. There's just a lot of work going on in different places. It's going to take a couple weeks for some of this work to get completed and for the traffic patterns to kind of level out a little bit. But I hope everyone who has kids enjoyed the first day of school here in Newburyport. Happy post-Labor Day. I hope everyone had a great long weekend. I certainly enjoyed some of the downtime. I will say, I'm calling this edition of the Mayor's Corner my Ron Teal Senior edition of the Mayor's Corner. And you might ask who Ron Teal is if you don't know who Ron Teal is. So unfortunately, over this weekend, I had a very sad event happen in my family. My neighbor right across the street, and again, I live up by the hospital, Ron Teal, passed away very, very suddenly on Saturday. And it's really hit the entire family hard. And I say family because not only was Ron Teal my neighbor directly across the street, but he's also my sister Megan's father-in-law. I think you've heard me talk about my brother-in-law and how proud I am of him often on the Mayor's Corner over the past almost 3 years as my time as mayor. Luke Teal, my brother-in-law, he's currently deployed in the Middle East. He actually is going to be promoted to general next month, so he'll be coming back from his deployment to finally get his official promotion as a general. And I'm doing the research right now, but he might be the first ever general from Newburyport, Massachusetts. So he'll be an adjunct general in the Air Force. But his father passed away this weekend, and again, it was very sudden, so it hit the family, pretty hard. And so, my sister and my 4 nieces are down in Goldsboro, North Carolina, while Luke is deployed. Luke was able to come home. We had the funeral today, and it's been interesting just being there for your family and hearing all of the wonderful things said about Ron. And what I'll say about Ron is he was just the ultimate neighbor, right? A guy who is caring, is thoughtful, is a good listener, up to date on city events. I mean, he would pull me aside and bring up something that a lot of people weren't talking about, but he noticed and he wanted to know that either I thought I was doing a good job or wanted to give me another perspective to think about. Had every tool in the tool chest. If you ever needed anything, he could fix anything. He could walk you through how to do anything mechanical. I am not a handy person. I believe I've said that on the Mayor's Corner a lot over the years. I am not that person. So everyone needs a neighbor like that. And so for me, Ron was that guy. And plus he was just, he was geeky to me and to my nieces, my 4 nieces. A wonderful grandfather, a wonderful husband to Nancy, who we love. They were together since they were 15 years old, 2 Newburyport kids. The story goes Nancy hopped on the back of his motorcycle when they were 18 to get to elope, and they've been in Newburyport ever since. And it's hit the neighborhood hard too because we're a close-knit group up there. Again, we've only been up there for 9 years in the current house that we live in, but the Teals have been there for over 50 years. We've got neighbors across the street who have been there for 60 plus years. And a lot of those older neighbors that used to live on that area came back for the funeral today and stuff. So it was a great celebration for a great Newburyporter, but it also just made me really proud of again these pockets of neighborhoods and being a good neighbor, and that's what Ron really was all about. So again, this episode of the Mayor's Corner is for Ron. Again, we're all still kind of reeling because it was so sudden. We're going to give a lot of support to Nancy and the rest of the family, but. Again, I was just really lucky to have him in my life for the time that I did. So anyways, what's going on in Newburyport? So we've been doing this every other Mayor's Corner for the summer. So we're going to be back on every other week from here on out. We got a lot going on. So I'm going to give just some quick updates on a lot of different things on this Mayor's Corner, and then we'll be on the regular schedule moving forward. But I wanted to remind everyone that we have a housing forum coming up, Community Housing Forum at the Senior Community Center on September 11th. It's going to be at 7 p.m. I know that's kind of a tough night to do thing on the anniversary of 9/11, but it was really the only open date that we had, and we kind of wanted to get this information out to residents. So we're going to make sure we recognize the importance of that date at the beginning of that community forum. And then we're going to talk just a lot about a lot of different opportunities around housing in the city. We're going to have a lot of different speakers. It's really just supposed to be informational. We're going to talk about the Brown School opportunity. We're going to talk about Waterfront West a little bit. We're going to talk about the Kmart location. A lot of these strategic housing developments that we have in Newburyport and where those stand and where do we see them moving in the near future. We're going to talk about zoning on Story Avenue. We're going to talk about MBTA communities and where that stands and what will happen the rest of the year regarding that. And we'll also talk about the Affordable Homes Act that was just signed a few weeks ago by the governor. What's that mean for Newburyport? You know, things like ADUs or accessory dwelling units. What's that mean? What's going to be coming in front of the council? So the council is going to take up a lot of these discussions around housing, and I want the public to know as well where my administration stands and what things we're trying to move forward. I think housing is just not only a Newburyport issue, but obviously it's a countrywide and particularly Massachusetts issue right now. You know, I think everyone's heard the number. It's about a $200,000 unit housing gap here in Massachusetts. So, you know, each community, you know, should look to do their own part. And I know we see it every day here in Newburyport. You know, we've got a segment of the population, you know, we've lost a lot of our rentals that we've had in the past, you know, so we need more rental units. We need more options for people, right? I mean, I think we have a lot of seniors maybe who, you know, love Newburyport, want to stay in Newburyport and don't want to leave, but their homes just are increasing in value each and every year, right? Because Newburyport's a very desirable place to live. But on seniors for fixed incomes, that's really difficult. So how do we try to push some of these housing developments forward to give seniors and others here more options to live, work, and play here in Newburyport, and just to be able to age in place here in Newburyport as well. Because believe me, I love my hometown just as much as everybody else, and you know, I'd want to stay here no matter what. So how do we help them doing that so they're not making choices about, you know, do we buy groceries this month? Opposed to, you know, paying money for taxes and for rent. So I do think a lot of these things are important. So again, we're using this community forum as a way to get a little bit more information out there to people. So we're excited about that. And there's going to be a lot more things that we talk about in that forum as well. And again, we're going to have a lot of great speakers, and it's going to be a lot of great information for everybody. I mentioned back to school. So again, you know, we have some streets that are still getting worked on. So the traffic patterns around back to school are going to be a little difficult to start. I just got stuck on Low Street for a long time trying to get here. So I know that's going to take a couple weeks to finish out. So just, again, let's be slow, let's be courteous. Let's realize we've got a lot of kids in this beautiful weather walking to school in the morning and afternoon. So let's just be courteous neighbors and supportive, and let's keep everyone safe on those roads, even though it might take a little bit longer to get where you're trying to go. And the other thing I want to mention real quick about back to school is the Newburyport Education Foundation, the NEF, just had a huge announcement that they are now over $5 million in total donations to our school department since its inception. And that is just a massive milestone. One, it's a huge amount of money that goes to a lot of unique projects and programs here in the city. Again, these are those extra things that are outside of the operating budget that kind of distinguishes ourselves as a you know, an impressive school district. But it's also like they've set this model now. This isn't happening all over the Commonwealth. I mean, the way the NEF has operated and the success that they've had, other communities around the Commonwealth are now modeling our success here in Newburyport. So it just hats off to the NEF, all their volunteers for doing the hard work and for always being there for our schools. Carrie O'Donnell's the executive director. She really keeps the trains running, but we're really lucky to have that group working here in Newburyport. Another thing going on, the Brown School Adaptive Reuse RFP that went out a few weeks ago. We've had one interview. We've got 2 more interviews to go. They're actually happening today. So after those interviews, we're going to kind of learn what kind of flexibility the applicants have with their proposals. And then we'll make a pitch to the City Council to kind of look at one of these companies a little bit more closely to get a senior affordable housing project going off of Lime Street there at the old Brown School. So again, I wasn't excited about any of the proposals per se, but I do think there's some possibilities in there. So I'm hoping from these interviews that we have a better idea of what can actually happen there, what fits into the neighborhood, how do we maximize affordable housing there for seniors. So again, I'm hoping after these interviews we have a clearer picture of a path forward for the Brown School. The police marshal search is still going on. I just actually finished my last interview yesterday, so we had 3 finalists. I had 3 in-person interviews. I will be making a decision this weekend, used by our 9-member panel that was announced when this process started. So I want to thank them for their efforts. And again, we had 3 really quality finalists, and so again, we'd be lucky to have any one of them ahead of our police department. So that's where the Marshal search stands. Kmart is another thing I thought that we'll talk a little bit more about Kmart at the September 11th Housing Forum. but we're still in the process. We worked on a development agreement. I got some feedback from 5 city councilors at a meeting last week, so I did get city council input, which I thought was very valuable. And then we sent our draft over to the owners of Port Plaza. And so we expect to hear from them. There will be a little bit of a negotiation, but I'm still very confident in the friendly 40B process is probably the best route for the city to go in. One, it's going to get us to that 25% affordability, 100% rentals threshold, and that will get us into safe harbor status, and that will assist us in other possible developments in the city, making it a little bit harder for a 40B development to come in, and really encouraging developers to work directly with the city moving forward and not bypass our zoning. So I think Kmart is a unique opportunity because it doesn't impact neighborhoods where it stands and is an area that's used to already some pretty heavy car traffic flow, that we can go a little bit higher on the density there, get some much needed rentals for the city, and then also get that 25% of affordable stock that allows us to count each of those rentals there in that complex towards our SHI number. Again, we have to get to that 10% threshold. This would push us over that for the foreseeable future. So we're still moving forward with that. I'll keep you updated, but again, we do have a draft of that friendly 40B agreement, and that's going to head to Port Plaza very shortly. And just lastly, it's fall season and it's back to school, and I just want to say good luck to the Clippers this season, right? We have fall sports starting. I think football has their first game on Friday. My girls, Sadie and Ruby, are both at the high school. Sadie's a junior. She made the varsity volleyball team. We're excited for her. She has her first match on Friday. And my daughter, Ruby, is a freshman. She made the varsity soccer team. She had her first game earlier this week, and she has one today against Linfield. I'm excited to watch both of them. And not to leave my son out, Oliver is in 7th grade, and he's playing tackle football for the first time, so he has his first game on Sunday. So good luck to all of our student athletes, and good luck to the Clippers this season. We're going to have a lot of success on our fields. And that's our Mayor's Corner. I know it's just a quick little update. We're back to every week, so I will see you all very soon next time on the Mayor's Corner.